Hey, welcome to Cryptoversity. I wanted to just say this situation with Bitcoin right now. It's just really strange where we end up getting a spike of 29%, and actually in some people would say that they can see. Well, a friend of mine said he could see 92,000, then it went down to 80 something thousand. I don't know if he's counting in different dollars than the US dollars. But yeah, we can see 40 odd thousand right now on coin market cap, on obviously owned by Binance. Can't really trust that one, so we should be looking over at CoinGecko. Let's have a look there. And 43,000, so almost 44,000 on CoinGecko, right? We've seen it peak, it says here, at 43,820. And it's back down to 43,700 just now, right? Lo and behold, at the exact same time that happened, technical difficulties over at Binance. I've been worried for a while, and I actually hold quite a bit of money on Binance because I'm trading primarily on there, and I have worried about them doing an exit scam because I've said before I think they're owned by the Chinese government. I think that every big company in China, Jack Ma situation, how he went missing. I think that any billionaire company over there immediately gets owned by the state. They get told this is the well, that's what I think anyway. They get told that this is you live in a communist country. Don't be fooled into thinking that capitalism exists here. It doesn't, right? The state owns everything, and you're just basically the frontman puppet for the business that you have built for us, for the communist regime, for the country. Ask not what you can do for your country, or other way around. So it's just as likely that what really happened here is that a whole bunch of shorts came in. So we all know that these players like Bitfinex and Binance, they manipulate the markets with their stable coins and with their ridiculous amount of coins that they back. We've seen 1inch being advertised recently. They always have some Binance answer to the others, the other projects that are out there getting released. But this could probably just be a bunch of shorts by whales that have been liquidated because they didn't count in the price, or some situation like what happened with Wall Street. What are they called again? Wall Street stock. I can't remember the name of the group. You know what I mean? The Wall Street situation where they pumped the GameStop. So it could be a situation like that, and they've purposely wiped out these assholes. In which case, we've got to be really beware now, because it means that Binance can just decide to pull the plug and steal all the Bitcoin they have. Because that's what happened with MT Gox. Remember, if you weren't around back then, what actually happened with MT Gox is they had said that they had all their money hacked, and what actually happened was they still had 200,000 Bitcoin left, which they tried to hide. Oh, look what we found. Oh, wow. Because everyone did blockchain analysis to find out that these bastards were hiding it. And then what did the Japanese legal system do after that? They allocated all that money to a trustee, and then that trustee would basically manage the fund to then pay back not the people who owned the money, not whose money it was. They stole on behalf of maybe the SEC, I don't know. But they stole the money that belonged to the people who were trading it, because obviously if you're trading on a platform and you put your Bitcoin on it, it's your Bitcoin. It doesn't belong to the shareholders who built the website. It's the people who's put the money there. But of course, that's not the way they saw it. They stole the money, which is happening with Cryptopia right now. Cryptopia have got Grant Thornton in to do, not liquidation, what do you call it again? Administration of that site to return the money. They have taken 2 years to do absolutely nothing. No one's received anything back. I haven't even received an email. I put my interest in years ago about getting my money back. They should have been able to rebuild a database and know exactly who had what, and just do a pro rata return of people's coins. They didn't do that. They haven't done that. That means they intend to rip everyone off. That we just know this already. Governments of the world are running scared. Look at India. Look at Nigeria. Again, talking about banning Bitcoin. They can't do anything about Bitcoin. They cannot ban it. They can't do anything about it. They're trying to pump their own shit coins, which is the rupee and whatever Nigeria uses. And same America, it doesn't matter. Shitting will do the same thing about the pound. They'll do anything to save their currencies, right? But they deserve to die. These currencies all deserve to be gone. And this is why when countries like my country, Scotland, talk about leaving the UK but starting their own currency, you don't need to. Currency doesn't need to be something that's a sovereign A person should be sovereign, a sovereign individual, right? You shouldn't be relying on currency to be run by a trusted group of thieves when they can't be trusted. That's why this kind of money is better when it's Bitcoin and things like it, like Digibyte. So I think that something dodgy is going on right now. I hope it's not too bad, or else my money is locked in Binance, and it's a significant sum. That would suck. But what are you going to do? They would be over in China, wouldn't they? Just going haha, rubbing their paws, and then maybe can you imagine how much money sits on a daily basis on Binance and Huobi, because that's related. So they would probably just, if they did an exit scam, they'd probably just exit them at the same time. But I'm not saying that's happening. I'm not jumping the gun here. I'm just saying that something dodgy is going on. This is not coding error. This is the website's been taken down on purpose. And that is usually done to protect POSs, pieces of SHITE. So, because that's the same thing what Robinhood did. They didn't count on this price fluctuation, and it scared them because they've lost billions. Now they can go back and try to jiggery-pokery the ledger. This is the database ledger. So what happens is cryptocurrency comes into an exchange. Once it's inside that ecosystem and you pass money back and forward, there is no blockchain. You have holder wallets that are on the outside, right? Ethereum, whatever it is else. And then when you get paid money on the inside, it's basically like a pseudonym address kind of. Your address basically points to you on the internal ledger, but it comes through into a holder wallet. So they can just jiggery-pokery the hell out of that and just say, no, we didn't short, or our friends didn't short here. No, they actually opened they opened longs. I don't know, whatever. Something's happening like that. Something is dodgy. You just know it. So that's over an hour now. Let me see if Binance is back up. Oh, now, okay, so just on an hour. I think, yeah. Dodgy. All right, let's see how this is looking. I'm still logged in. And because Bitcoin's been soaring, my BTC value of my portfolio has gone down by a Bitcoin. But just such is life. It'll rebound again. Another thing, so while I'm on this episode, I'm going to just say something that I think I mentioned the other day about CoinMarketCap. It was taken over by Binance. If you use it yourself, you will notice that on the top right of each page, you have a login box. That login box, I think they've finally fixed it now. No, at last. What they were doing there was the login box would go. It would sit on when your page would load. The box for putting a search in would move last minute. So as soon as you put a mouse over it, it would move, and you'd press a login box by mistake. Not by mistake, because they did it there on purpose. They want you to register an account. They've obviously changed it now because people were complaining after their survey that they had. Because people are leaving. They know people are leaving and moving towards CoinGecko, right? The other thing that I made a mention of to them was at the top of the screen on the right-hand side where it says circulating, sorry, in the middle, depends on what kind of screen you view it on. In the middle of the screen, it shows you the price of each currency. Let me just check it's the same for the other ones. Ethereum, let me go in there. Yeah, middle of the screen. I'm pretty sure it used to be more to one side, left or right, I can't remember. But it says it's got the price in dollars, and then below it, it'll tell you the BTC price. So, for example, Ethereum shows you a price of 0.03914. That's funny. Bitcoin has 8 decimal places. Why are they only showing me 5? Let me just go down a little bit. Let me go down to Cardano, which is now number 4, which I said it was going to be number 4. I actually said it's going to be number 2 at some stage. When Tether dies as it needs to die at some stage, and also Ethereum may get knocked off, it'll either be number 3, or it would be number 3 already, or number 2. So I think we are heading there. 68 cents already. My pick for Cardano for this season is actually $4.80. I think I said. Others say $10. I don't think that's really doable, but I think $4.80 is my price point there. So that would give us a probably something like a 7x, even from here, probably a 6x, something like that. I really do think it's doable. Remember that what's going on right now, that's what I want to talk about. So when we look at these graphs, we can see that let's say my upper finger is yellow and my lower finger is fiat currency blue, right? And what they do is they track together. They sometimes widen apart and they sometimes close together. But what we saw was that flipped around, and you look on almost every altcoin chart and you will see that flipping happen. And what you can see is a parabolic rise in fiat currency. But do you see that parabolic rise in Bitcoin? No, you don't. Now, of course, some of that's because Bitcoin is rising so fast. So then again, so the gain of alt to get what alts had. If you look in most alts, you'll see that the left side of the screen you have a big parabolic spike in Bitcoin. Then it comes down, and none of them, very few of them recover. Some of them have, very few of them. That's those that were around since 2017, because many haven't been around that long, right? But most of them have not recovered to that level. So what ends up happening here, the reason why I'm talking about this is because you will easily focus on these things and go, wow, we've got to move. Remember, the move about percentage gain is only about percentage gain in fiat currency. It's not telling you. And that's one thing that would be a good feature is to be able to recalibrate the site and say, show me it in ETH, show me it in Bitcoin, or even show it to me in any currency, because it should be able to, the mathematics should be there to do in any pair. As a matter of fact, on CoinGecko, you can do other pairs. You can do like between, not just Ethereum, you can do between two, let's say you want to do Cardano versus, if you do Cardano or ADA slash, I don't know, pick your coin, and then go CoinGecko, Google will return your result. It will show you those two random things. And that's really important, because when you're when you're going between different altcoins, you have to sometimes come back to Bitcoin to go to a different altcoin, back to Bitcoin, different altcoin again, take profit back to even Ethereum. Those trading pairs are so limited that you have to always go back to those currencies, or something like USDC, right? So the reason that I believe, because Binance are sneaky CUNTS, I believe the reason that's happening is because they are such market manipulators that they've already done the math on how much the average consumer will get screwed if they don't have the correct data in front of them, the data they need. For example, here, not only at the top of the screen, so just the case I was talking about before, Cardano, let's see. I'm going to count decimal places now for the BTC price of Cardano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's one of the few that has 8 decimal places. So you can count right there by looking at Cardano. What's the price? 1559 Satoshis. And I swear this changes throughout the day. So I'm wondering if that's the price there because they want people to buy it, or are they, I need to take more, I need to monitor this over time and see, because I'm going back to pages, I'm going, that's weird. Why has it only got 5? Like I just read out before for Ethereum. Why has it got 5? Why has it got 9? 9 decimal places? Bitcoin only goes up to 8. How can you have 9? Of course, you can have it by, in the same way that you can calculate that you got half a cent, even though that half a cent doesn't exist, right? So there is ways you can do that. But why are they showing it that way? And more to the point, why are they showing it with 6 decimal places, especially where it actually matters? If you go down to the chart itself and you move around your mouse, there was always a box in here, and it still is there. And you move that box left and right, and it shows you the price, not just in dollars, down to 1, 2, 3. Well, you don't have 1 petacent, right? But they show it down to that level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decimal places down on the USD. Yet they only show down to 6 decimal places on Bitcoin. Why would that be? So that you can't count Satoshis. So that you can't count when you're making a 10% profit, just because if you're someone who doesn't use spreadsheets or Blockfolio or whatever it might be, if you're just using these charts, it's to stop you making profit. It's to stop you knowing that you've made a gain, because they only win when everybody loses a little bit and forgets where they are. And that's what the point I want to get to. When you're looking at USD gains, you will always screw yourself up, because you're watching this parabolic rise thinking, oh, I should sell. Where did you buy in from? If you bought in from USDC and all you're doing is trading between a stable coin and cryptocurrency, fair enough. That might suit you well. But if you've been in crypto for a while and you're or even not, even if you just bought Ethereum and just waited for it and then thought, right, I'm going to get into it, or bought Bitcoin, you thought they'll get into altcoins now. What you're doing is you're trading against the price of Bitcoin. Don't be an idiot. Get rid of that view, and if you're using CoinMarketCap, stop using CoinMarketCap, because it will not help you trade against Bitcoin, because you get, unless you're, I don't know, unless you're just looking to see current price, you know, it's not useless. It's just intentionally confusing, because there's absolutely no reason to have changed those two things. The only reason that you would change them, you got to remember, like the most Occam's razor, the most obvious solution. Why are you going to actively change something that took work to do in two different places? Not just that, inconsistent work, because I've just pointed out here. Let me do a few others. So we've got Cardano, 8 decimal places. We have Polkadot. Let's see how many that's got. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. See, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 decimal places. Why? I mean, it's not because there's a zero at the end, because then it would be going up and down. You know what I mean? It would be moving by the second. Let me refresh again. Yep, just replaced it. The last two digits changed. The 24. 23. So there you go. So they've done something intentionally here. Always think of that yourself. Why has that changed? That took work to do, because they're sneaky pieces of shit. That's why. That's Binance. I'm hoping Binance don't pull off what I suspect one day to be their exit scam. Even a little, but why would they do that? They're building a multi-billion-dollar company. You know why? Because if they can get to the stage where they attract so much business in so many different areas, with having the rules of having these companies, people will still use those other companies anyway. People will still use CoinMarketCap.com. People will still use their other exchanges that they own or they end up getting into. So it doesn't make a difference. It just ends up being a hot dog stand that you set up for a day that takes everyone's money and go, right, come back in 20 minutes and you can get your hot dog. Scarpers away. That's what Binance can end up being. Don't think because it's got so much money in it and they're making so much on a daily basis that they won't do it. It's a foregone conclusion that the decentralized situation is going to take over, and that's because of the dwindling profit margins between the amount of cryptocurrency exchanges. Same as why they can't just keep on charging money for having coins listed on their exchanges now, because it's going to become so competitive that there's just going to be a race to the bottom, right? And that is why you'll end up in a situation where these companies will say, well, how much longevity really is there in the business that we have? Is it more than stealing everyone's Bitcoin and the value that Bitcoin will be after the massive appreciation that brings up to $300,000? And the answer is probably no. When you take the liquidity provided by every single consumer on an exchange like Binance, an exit scam could happen anytime, and don't be dumb enough to think it couldn't, because people thought that when Mt. Gox was in was the top exchange above. The ones I was using back then were Poloniex and Kraken. All right, so they were the one back then, right? It happened. It was a scam. It was not a hack. It was a scam, and you know that because they tried to steal 200,000 bitcoins. All right, I still think the same thing's happening again. I don't think they're going to do the exit scam yet, but I do think it might happen this season. And fuck you, anyone who thinks I'm some kind of conspiracy theorist for saying this. Although I do understand that every single crime that is investigated in this world, that investigation stems from a theory, and that's usually a conspiracy theory. So I really do think that we already know that these scumbags have been conspiring, the Bitfinexes of the world, and many others related to them. I can't think of them right now. The Tether Mafia. So it's going to be no different with CZ from Binance. He's going to be dragged into the office by the CCCP and told how it is, and if he doesn't already know, or he's not already an agent of the system, because he doesn't seem as dumb as Jack Ma. That's what I think is going on here. Safeguard yourself. Recognize that it's a risk to be on Binance and every centralized exchange, and try get yourself off them as soon as you can. I'm taking the risk. I'm going to be on them between now and, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to hit BTC, Coin Tiger a little bit. I don't use KuCoin anymore. They're scumbags, total scumbags. So just like Binance. I use Liquid. They're based in Japan. That's a worry. I mean, Liquid are a good company. They reply. They've got a well-designed site. Kraken recently, or fairly recently, from the last time I checked, redesigned their site. It's still a piece of shit. So I don't want to use it anymore. Still, I thought it looked better when I was signing up, but they've opted for this kind of a very confusing mix of what Coinbase do, where you have a high street kind of trading thing where you got here's your currency in, currency out, just so the average Joe Blogs can use the thing, right? And then a more complicated trading one. But to get between them is so confusing to actually find where it is, to see where your money is and see where your holdings are, your wallet. Very difficult, very irrational, illogical design. A complete failure in my opinion, because I'm a real strong believer in making things intuitive by design, and you fail when you don't do that. That's why Nokia is not around anymore, and that's why companies that use Symbian operating system, were just their phones died, right? That's about it, really. Maybe I'll mention a few coins here. Okay, Singularity Net. I've been strong on that for a long time until today, when they mentioned they're going to make a Cardano token. Now, I might be wrong here, but from what Ben Gertzel was saying this morning on the Singularity Net channel, it made it sound like it was just to increase supply because demand is going to increase. Well, hang on. Isn't that why we buy a coin in the first place? Because we're backing a project and we're speculating on it. The price will rise. We will get a payoff instead of this crash situation that we've seen, waiting for recovery, and then to be told that they're going to make a Cardano coin. I'm cool with the Cardano coin being created because it would be something that would be faster, it would have lower fees. But to not offer it to us in a 1-to-1 ratio in an airdrop, that's just like stock dilution, where I have 1% of a company and then the guys come along. This happened to me when I was 23 years old, by the way. £12.50, I got 65,000 shares in a company, and then they come, oh, come on, everyone sign this paperwork, and then they dilute the shares. They get more. I've got the same amount. That means that 1% I had the company is now 0.5%. How did that help me? So this is what I see is happening. Maybe, I don't know, someone out there who knows better than I do. I've asked the question already on the Singularity Net Twitter. I don't know if they'll ever answer. So if that's the case, I mean, it's already pumping quite a bit now, but that's in dollar value. It's not pumping against Bitcoin value. That would suck if I have to take a loss on it, but I will. I would completely dump it if that means there's 1,000 good projects out there to be involved in. And I used to say never sell out, never make a loss, but the reality is some of these projects go to the floor and they never return, and some of these tokens do as well. So I think it was NXT, and I can't remember the other one that they were. I'm pretty sure it was NXT. They had another token, and then you miss out on that. If you were traveling or something, or Hypercoin, there's another one. Those arseholes. Most people in the world probably have their Hypercoin locked on the Cryptopia exchange, so can't do anything with it. And these fuckheads come along and say, I understand, we've got to move away from proof of work. That requires miners. We haven't got enough miners. A 51% attack could happen. Let's safeguard that by making a proof of stake token that doesn't require all that miners. You don't get the 51% attack, right? Sounds like a solution. Yeah, we'll allow people to swap over, but we'll limit the time. Everyone's got their money stuck on Cryptopia. Those guys are fucking arseholes, right? So, and of course they tried to argue me, oh, you should be watching what? What am I going to do? Go back, use my time machine to go back to before Cryptopia got fake hacked, because again, that's a probably inside job as well. It's very surprising to me, as well as I know New Zealand, knowing how well the government covers these kind of financial situations, that one's not covered, that one's getting non-resolved for what's coming up 3 years now. Complete bullshit. Remember, this space is full of fuckery because it's got all the crime that you get in the gold, silver, and other commodities markets, but it doesn't have the protection of regulation. Not that they protect you anyway, because we've seen that will happen in Japan with the legal system. And them stealing all the Bitcoin from the people. Stealing. Thieves. Stealing. Country that's all about honor. Thieving. Your system stole from everyone, right? I love Japan, by the way. But I'm just saying they're Their legal system is being what's the word? Hypocritical. They're all about honor, and that's a dishonorable thing to do when you steal directly from the pocket of someone else, like a bare-faced robber. That's what they are. So, yes, some Bitcoin recovery there. Of course, I can't tell how much recovery because this piece of shit, coinmarketcap.com, doesn't tell me how many Satoshis it is now. If I go there, I can see that the price is 0.0000003. So, is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, 6. Fuck, 6. I got hit in an eye years ago, so I got one a bit back, so it's hard for me to focus on things. So I need to shut one eye sometimes to look at these things. They know this. They know that the average person has to sit there. What? How many zeros? It was what, 000. Look at my finger. Ah, damn! I've got a touchscreen laptop. They know this. This is all added up. This is all put into the big Chumbawamba supercomputer that turns out and says, if you do these bastard actions, this will equal so much extra revenue per day. That's how they do it on Facebook. If you do this annoying advert that comes up here and there, it will make the attention last so much longer. Oh, if you put this hate button, someone will go in and find out, oh, who hated my comment? Oh, it was him. Let me stalk. Engagement. That's exactly how the world we're living in right now. All the systems are harvesting every little input-output gesture from us so they can feed it into AI systems and further fuck us. And it's the exact same with these financial systems. Don't forget it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. This has been Cryptoversity. I've been creating, you've been using.